We are Friday rolling here, April 2nd. Myself, Tyler. We've got Anthony and Zach. We'll jump right into it here. Updated cool PowerPoint slide. Welcome, guys. How's it going?
It's going.
Good, good. Glad to have another episode.
Episode 4. We're rolling. So we've got Zach here, and Zach had quite the season when Anthony and I were kind of doing some pre-show research, and we're like, what was the deal with Zach? Uh, you know, rough season. We did have Zach finishing 11th in the regular season standings, but man, you almost made the playoffs actually. Like you just missed it by a couple of points, huh?
Yeah, bad beats all year too. What is that? I think we had uh, Gibson get like 40 points Thanksgiving.
So, what was that situation? So, you head into basically, and kind of some additional context. The sixth place playoff spot in our league doesn't automatically go to the person with the sixth best record. It goes to the last remaining team with the highest total scored points in the regular season. So theoretically, even if you hadn't won a game just because you got crazy unlucky, if you were the highest scoring team, you're going to get that last spot. So that kind of rewards you for always going for it, always, playing for your best, and kind of takes away that luck factor out of it with just like strength of schedule. And so heading into that last week, or maybe even like that last game or something, you were up how many points on Lee and he needed like a miracle week? What was that situation?
I want to say I was up like 50 points, something like that, and he needed to outscore me by 50 points, and I think he got like 190 that week or something.
Yeah, I got it up right now. So I think you're absolutely right that Lee ended up outscoring you by 9 points to get into it. He scored 195 that week. Aaron Rodgers went for 25, David Montgomery 25, Gibson for 36, Godwin for 17. And, he had Ebron for 16, Deshaun Watson for 33, Naheem Hines for 18. Like, whoo, he had a good week.
Yeah, and I think a lot of those, or at least a couple of those, were Thanksgiving too. So it was over before I even started. It felt like.
Mm-hmm. Sends repercussions across the entire league. Obviously, he makes the playoffs. Doesn't end up advancing. He almost beats Anthony in the next round. Is that right?
I mean, Lee was pretty darn close. I think if I didn't have Waller go off for 50 points, he definitely would have beat me.
Yeah. So I mean, that was close. I mean, Lee was. Yeah, I guess Anthony beats him by 14. But so almost makes some noise in the playoffs, doesn't quite get there or whatever. But also, he had traded. This is not about Lee's team. We should be talking about Zach's team. But also, he made that draft pick trade with me where I got his first round pick for Cortland Sutton, and he screwed that up by not getting in the lottery because he made the playoffs. And I hate him for this, but that's what happens. But let's talk about Zach's team. So, of course, you were on the verge of making the playoffs there with points. Your total record ended up at what was it? Three and
Nine.
eight,
Three
three
and
and
nine.
nine, 3-9. So that was your total regular season record there, but kind of a deceptive and kind of unlucky 3-9 if we're being honest, just in terms of your points for and everything. Like you're better than 3-9, even though that's what that ended up being.
Yeah, a lot of high scoring losses.
Hmm.
Kicking myself over a lot of it. Yeah, I think I had the most points against me this year, right?
You did at 1780, which was 50 points more than the person behind you.
Yeah, it was rough. It was a rough one.
Yep. Scored a total of 1,665. That was right on par with Johan, who did make the playoffs, made the championship, but just unlucky there because you had so many points against you. So, yeah, that was just crazy. You outscored me by almost 300 points. So, you definitely are fielding a more competitive lineup than I was. Going into the draft here, so you ended up in our startup draft with the eighth overall pick in the startup draft. I don't know if you're able to see my screen, Zach. I've got it
Yeah.
up right here. Kind of walk us through the draft. Walk us through not only especially your important key early picks, but also like tell us about any maybe did you walk into this? Had you done a lot of prep? Or you just kind of like, man, I'm a genius. I don't need any prep. I'm just gonna roll into this and all that good stuff. Like, just tell us about it.
No, I never done a two quarterback or a dynasty league, so I was doing those mock drafts like crazy,
Mhm.
trying to figure it out. I will say Kyler Murray right before threw me though. I figured I'd get him at 8.
Oh, you were kind of targeting him at 8. You thought you were going to be there.
Yep, 100%.
Ooh, that's what I like to hear. Again, not talking about my team for forever, but we had, I think we set the draft, and I want to say, we're busy guys. There's 12 of us, and it was hard to find the exact schedule and everything. So it was set a good, 4 to 6 weeks ahead of time at least, probably. And I agonized over that pick for like a good month. I'm like, is it too early for this quarter? And remember, this was second year of Kyler Murray. He was good, but not great. I'm just like, is this too early? Is this like, I don't know. I'm Dalvin Cook should be there, Kamara should be there, and they were, and all this. And I went with Kyler, so I'm glad to hear that I sniped him from you.
Yep.
But you went Michael Thomas.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
So why'd you go Michael Thomas? I'm just curious. Over like you had Dak, Russell Wilson, or Deshaun Watson, and you did want Murray.
I think it was just a panic pick because I was targeting Drake and Gordon late for my running backs because I thought they would have good seasons. So I didn't want to waste a pick on Cook or Kamara, so I just went with Thomas. Seemed like the best option. I mean, he had set a record right for catches the year before.
Right.
We are
Yeah,
playing a little bit of revisionist history, obviously. You're right, set the record before, and he had just like a absolute monster season. He was like the consensus number one wide
yeah,
receiver in 2019. Finished with uh, 373 points. It's just outrageous.
yeah. Then you
So
got.
then
I
he
think
just
he missed like
tanked.
8 weeks this year, something crazy like that.
hmm Yeah, he just really, really unlucky. Drew Brees injury, he missed a million games, so that was super unlucky. But optimistic for next year that he could be coming back. Um, Josh Allen in the third, that really worked out for you. He is what? Is he the number 2 or number 3 QB? Oh, it says number 1.
Number one.
Number 1. So how about
Yeah,
that?
he had a beast year.
And he's young.
Yeah, and the good thing is he gets all those rushing touchdowns.
hmm
Like I think he had what, six to eight, something like that this year.
hmm
Just all those extra points.
So you
He's great for
definitely
the long term too. I mean, when I picked him, I didn't think he'd be that good. So hopefully he can keep it up.
Absolutely. And then these quarterbacks are still on your team also. You've got Daniel Jones and Tom Brady. Tom Brady, sneaky good pick and at the 9.7. Of course, maybe there's some players you maybe wish you had got there as well. But I mean, as far as being able to plug him or Daniel Jones into your second QB slot, um, probably feeling pretty decent about that.
Oh, 100%. I mean, Tom Brady was again just ridiculous this year. I figured I could rotate them back and forth, but I think I started Brady most games. Just threw Daniel Jones in there a few times.
hmm hmm
But Daniel Jones, I've got so much high hope for that guy. Especially what they did. They just got a Galladay,
hmm
and I would assume they're going to pick a wide receiver in the draft, right?
I don't know. They didn't they add Galladay and John Ross? I think they picked
Oh,
him up
they
as
did add.
well.
Yeah, yes, they did.
So they're
So I'm
giving
curious. Yeah, I
giving
don't
him
know
a
if they're going to buff
chance.
up their line or where they're going with that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but high hopes for him.
I
Stick
think
him.
some of the things that I've been reading about the Giants, and I believe they have, is it the eighth pick, something like that in the NFL draft, somewhere around there. They had been linked to the same wide receivers that, of course, I'm pretty dialed into the Miami Dolphins. I'm a huge fan of them, and so reading all that news, and they're saying basically like a receiver probably wouldn't get past the Giants, and then things kind of changed with all those trades and everything, and now they're saying, is that a landing spot for Devonta Smith? Is it a landing spot for, Waddle and most likely like Pitts or Jamar Chase? Those guys won't be available. So it's kind of hard to say, but it does look as though New York is interested in giving Daniel Jones kind of the weapons that he needs for them to be able to evaluate if he's
Yeah,
actually the
especially
quarterback for them.
Barkley. I mean, yeah, Barkley last year either. So
hmm
I hope that that takes some pressure off him.
For
He
sure.
did only pass for I think like 12, 13 touchdowns, something like that. Barely did good, but
So he finished
he's got
as the
talent.
QB 24, but he's got talent. He's still young, still an opportunity, but definitely kind of that borderline at this point. So I know you had mentioned, of course, I'm hearing this for the first time, that you just barely whiffed on Kyler. You just missed one spot there. Do you remember any other specific targets you had going into that draft, or were there any other specific picks? This is actually kind of fun since I picked on the other side of you there. Were there any picks where you just missed them just by one or two or something?
Uh, Not that I remember. I feel like I had a pretty good game plan and I got almost everyone I wanted aside from Kyler Murray. I probably wouldn't have picked Daniel Jones if I had Murray, but I mean, yeah, I think I did pretty set the plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
How you feeling about that Tyler Lockett contract for 4 years?
Oh man, I am pumped. I mean, I'm shocked that the Hawks would even do that though. How much was it? Like 17 a year?
It was a
Yeah,
lot.
it was
Something like
quite a bit for his age and for 4 years. And like he's a roller coaster, right? Like he had some crazy good games in the beginning, then kind of just fell off when Russell fell off.
yeah, so now we got and then DK's going to need a contract too, so the Hawks already got like what's that? 50 million between those two and then DK's coming up. Oh my gosh.
I
They're
kind of
not going to
feel like
have so
the
much.
drama with Russell Wilson and the potential trading, trade situation, all that kind of stuff, kind of forced them into maybe making some deals that probably were not the most fiscally responsible or wise to kind of placate Russell Wilson. What do you think?
You mean like the Tyler Lockett signing?
Like the Tyler Lockett signing, I think didn't they got a couple linemen, and I think they also there's just been a couple of moves where it was very much like, I don't know if I would have done that.
Yeah, they got the Raiders center
Hmm.
his name and then they re-signed him, but I mean, he's always been my dad's a Raiders fan and he said he's a really good center, so
Hmm.
but I mean, it'll be interesting what to see what they do, just the Hawks in general.
How'd you feel about your general draft, Zach? So you ended up dropping 13 players from your team throughout the season. Did you kind of just like, draft strong the first, I don't know, handful, 20, and then after that, kind of just whatever was left over?
Yeah, I didn't realize I dropped that many people. I mean, I feel like the first part of my draft was really good. I mean, the second half, I was going more for like those, I think, second, third year players, a couple like veterans. I think I picked up Lamar Miller, looks like late, just like hopeful. Drafted RG3 with my final pick. Still have
Hmm.
him though on my roster, holding out hope.
Yeah, he almost
Um,
played last year. He was
I think I
pretty
dropped
close.
like Anthony Miller. Looks like I think I dropped him. D.D. Westbrook. Just some wide receivers that didn't pan out as expected. I
Okay, I have
think.
to ask you something. I've played with you in previous leagues, and I think you and I have done some trades before. So this year kind of surprised me that you had zero trades all year. Did you make any offers? Did you get any offers?
I mean, so I got some pretty. No, I don't think I got offers during the year. Maybe I got one or two. But I didn't make any offers. I was pretty content with my team. I thought I had a chance to really go for it. I just kept getting the bad luck.
Okay.
I have gotten some pretty interesting trades for that number 3 pick, though.
I was just going to ask you. I mean, you may or may not want to disclose this. Tyler, close your ears. But what has Tyler offered you? I'm sure he has
Oh,
been begging with his
okay.
hands and knees on the ground
Does
and
Zach
just
have
So,
offering you
Zach?
some trash.
Do you have the third
so,
pick? I wasn't aware. I didn't. Were you in this?
so,
Are you in this upcoming draft?
What?
so
No.
first off, I offered the third pick for Dak Prescott like 3 months ago, and Tyler turned it down.
This is true.
So when I saw him do it for the second, I was like, "What the heck, Tyler? You could have gotten another guy from me."
Well,
But Tyler
to be
offered
fair, I
me
got the
some.
second overall pick and an additional first round pick in a future year, and we'll have to see
Okay,
if
all right.
how high of a pick that ends up being, if Johnny ends up contending or not contending or whatever. But I mean,
Yeah, Tyler's definitely sent some very interesting trades. I think his worst one was you wanted me to drop to the 7th spot for Christian Kirk. That was it.
There's the classic
But,
Tyler trade right there.
I mean, I kind of
but
feel like
but
I'm overpaying
nothing.
there. Christian Kirk is
No,
known for his productivity, and
hey, nothing's worse though, Anthony, than your trade. David Johnson for the 3rd pick.
Oh, I sent that
Central
out to
washed up
everybody.
running
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, I was trying to fish him out, trying to get anyone possible. You weren't the only one, my friend. I was like, if anyone, I was trying to pull a Tyler move, to be honest. I pulled that one directly from Tyler. If Tyler can get Antonio Brown for a first round pick by just sending it out to everybody, I was like, you know what? I'm going to cast my fish. I'm going to cast my fish, rod and see if anything bites.
All right, all right,
I'm just
all
gonna
right.
hope maybe someone misclicks on their computer or on the app and they hit yes on accident. You got to throw out those every once in a while.
David Johnson did finish number 12 on the year, so he is an RB1. I'm just saying.
Oh
Just
no,
saying.
I would not agree with that.
He might be old. I get it, but
Here's what I'll say. Obviously, the Christian Kirk and the moving down to 107 doesn't make a lot of sense. But the way that I view a lot of those things is they're conversation starters, right? If you don't want Christian Kirk, maybe we swap Christian Kirk out and we add someone else. Maybe we throw in a second rounder there. Who knows what it is? But uh, you
I'll
know,
give that to you.
I,
We
I'm
did
I'm
talk
gonna try.
back
I'm
in the
gonna try. I'm not necessarily expecting someone, but I'm always looking to like start a conversation. So,
day.
um, you know, and I've ended up making
Yeah.
like 6 or 7 trades, and so they're usually not the first ones that I send out. If you send out a trade and then someone immediately snaps back and be like accept immediately, you should probably be like, wait, did I just mess up?
Right.
Right?
yeah,
I'll
I question myself every time. Like, wait,
wait,
too
wait, wait.
quick, too quick.
What was the trade that Johnny got from Chris, James Robinson and whatever, and he gets it at a
Tyler
VAR.
Higbee and Mr. Grandpa,
He gets
Jimmy
it at a
Graham.
VAR, it loads up on his phone, and he's like, wait, what? I need to like double check really quick. Hold on, ask a friend, and he's like, I need to say yes before Chris comes to his senses. I need to say yes right now. So,
All
yeah.
right. So speaking of trades, is there anyone that you plan on trying to pawn off and get some draft capital, or anyone that you're seeking out?
You know, I wouldn't turn down a good deal. I will say I will trade Travis Kelce if anyone
Ooh,
pay the price for him.
number one tight end in a tight end premium league. Ooh, everyone listening, hear that? He's up for grabs.
He's
Yes.
31. He's old. He's old, but
Of
he's a tight
course,
end.
Oh, I'm the hype man. Watch out for Tyler, though. He's going to downplay everyone unless they're on his team because Antonio Brown's the most upstanding citizen ever, right, Tyler?
I mean, I got rid of him for personal conduct reasons. Innocent until proven guilty, also, I'd like to point out. But yeah, big season for Kelsey. That was actually his best season was this previous season. Ended up with 311 points. That's wild.
Was he number one overall?
Number
Yeah, he
one tight
was.
end.
Nice. Yeah, he was a beast.
So that's huge.
But yeah, he's up for grabs if anyone wants to get a 10, and I got a couple of them.
Mike Gesicki, you got Gronk. Interesting. Why would someone who has the third overall pick suddenly have Travis Kelce, the number one overall tight end, available? How do you think you can replace such valuable production? I
Oh,
wonder.
just second Gronkowski, man. He's gonna have a great year. Oh, wait,
Oh,
Jaceki or Gasecki?
Gesicki.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. Are you fishing there for something, Tyler? Who
I
I'm picking
mean,
up
I'm
these?
just thinking someone might be available at number 3. We tip in our hand a little bit, a little Kyle Pitts.
I'm gonna wait to see what you do with your first and second pick. I have a handful of people that I wouldn't mind taking. I
I'm
do need a
going.
run back, so
I'm locking it in already. Kyle Trask, Mac Jones, 1 and 2.
There
Boom,
you go.
boom,
perfect.
boom, boom.
Perfect.
Sorry in advance.
Hey, Shanahan was at Mac Jones Pro Day, so he's a offensive mind genius.
So I've heard some mocks, and this is interesting because I'm there at the 7. I don't want to talk about my team specifically, but I'm talking about kind of the second half of our draft. I've focused so much on like what I think could be the first half of it and all of my planning. which of course you're part of, Zach, because you've got that third pick. I'm sure you've kind of been eyeballing some of the news as well. Um, and I'm hearing this stuff about Mac Jones, and I'm hearing this stuff about the other quarterbacks. So there's four, right? There's Trevor Lawrence, one would assume would be gone. Zach Wilson's very much in play for one of those higher picks. Justin Fields, of course. I think I was kind of assuming he'd be at the bottom end, and the more I do research, the bottom end of our fantasy draft of the second round, like somewhere between 6 to 12. And the more I'm doing research and stuff, I'm like, yeah, is he earlier? Like he should definitely be somewhere in the first, and then Mac Jones also. So I was thinking like, is it possible earlier on? I'm like, does one of those guys fall to the second, or are they all going to go in the first? And I'm thinking now, I think they're all going to go in the first. What do you guys think? Do you guys think is it possible any of those guys fall to the second in the fantasy draft?
So it's not a snake, correct?
Correct.
I mean, I would think they would all go in the first then, right? There's a lot of teams that need QBs. I'd be shocked for you to pass on, especially one of these great guys.
I was saying the exact same thing. I was like, there's almost nearly every team that needs a QB or some depth added to QB. So I think maybe one sneaks by, maybe, and it's not going to be, the top caliber that you're seeing going through the first round.
Right. And Anthony and I were just listening to something that actually had not even Trevor Lawrence first overall. It had Justin Fields first overall, which was like, whoa, 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 whoa. But they had great explanations on it in terms of like, if you assume that he goes to San Francisco, which is, not 100% at this point. That could be Mac Jones or someone else. It does plug in a quarterback like that, someone who's a little bit more of like a running quarterback, kind of like a Kyler Murray, maybe Lamar Jackson, something, into an established offense. A team that's picking third but is way better, like could be a Super Bowl contender. Plug him in, he could be extremely valuable. Stunning, I know.
Well, I was gonna say how many good he's Ohio State, right?
Ohio State, yes sir.
I mean, how many good Ohio State quarterbacks have made the NFL, man?
Um,
Not that many,
Shots
right?
at Drew Haskins.
Drew Haskins,
Drew Haskins. That's not his name. Haskins.
Dwayne Haskins,
Dwayne Haskins.
Drew
D
Haskins.
Haskins.
Drew
Man,
Lock, Dwayne Haskins, put them
man,
together.
it's late. It's late.
Hey, I'm
9:46
just
on a
saying.
Friday night.
I'm just saying. I was talking about my dad the other day about because we were watching something and they were making a statement that no like good quarterbacks have come from Ohio State, and I looked up and I didn't see any.
That's fair. I think
Ooh.
Haskins is the most recent. It's been interesting. They've had some interesting guys. Braxton Miller didn't even end up playing quarterback in the NFL. He was a wide receiver. He was a
Yeah.
very spicy quarterback in college.
So yeah, I'd be aware of Fields. At least I am.
Okay. All right. Looking forward to this upcoming year, where do you kind of feel you are situated in the landscape of, potential rankings 1 through 12? Do you think you are going to be, making a run at it this year? Are you a little bit more in rebuilding mode, somewhere in the middle? What do you think?
I think as long as I don't run into bad luck, I'll make the playoffs. Whether or not I go deep in it, I mean, I feel like I don't have any superstars on my team, that put up those huge games besides Kelsey.
Josh Allen also. I mean,
So it'll be tough.
and I would
That's
also expect actually a bounce back from Michael Thomas. He did really poorly this year for sure, but there was lots of things in the short term, right? The injuries and then the Drew Brees situation where he was injured and they were going with Taysom Hill and all that good stuff. I think a full year of regular normalized Michael Thomas will be much improved.
yeah. Yeah, my wide receivers I feel are pretty solid. It's just my running back situation. We got a bunch of just wide receiver running backs.
Okay.
Yeah, we got Lynn Bowden. J.D. McKissick had a great end of the year last year for the Redskins or Washington franchise.
Whoa.
But yeah, and then we got Kenyon Drake. You want to know why he decided to sign with the Raiders?
Yeah, how do you feel about your running back situation? Because you got Kenyon Drake. I don't know if he's probably potentially being RB2, maybe take a step back.
Yeah, I mean, when my number one running back's Melvin Gordon, who's like 29, I'm not feeling too good about myself. So
And
like,
then, I mean, who does he like? They got rid of Lindsey, right? So you're probably looking a little bit better on that. I think they brought over Mike Boone over to Denver. So if they don't sign anyone, and I don't know if they will or will not, for the rookies, Melvin Gordon could be pretty good this year.
yeah. And then they also got Royce Freeman, but he's not hasn't done anything in the NFL.
Yeah, a lot of people
But
from Oregon don't typically do that well,
yeah,
so you know.
yeah. But then other than that, I mean, I got Kenyon Drake, and I mean, what's he gonna get? Like, not even 50% of the carries over in Las Vegas.
I'll
Yeah,
bring
it's
your
gonna be
attention
tough.
to one Justin Herbert who took the league by storm from the University of Oregon. So you just watch your mouth there a little bit.
Delayed response. Delayed response. Had
Had
to
to
think
think
about
about it.
that one.
Well, my first
Had to
reaction
think.
was like, "Whoa, whoa, are we forgetting about Marcus Mariota?" And I'm like, do I have something better?
Not the best
Yeah,
example.
Do I have
not a
something
good one.
better? Yeah, I still believe in Marcus. I still believe in Marcus. I think he's, maybe a late bloomer, maybe a Ryan Tannehill situation. He just needs the right situation. I can't believe John Gruden doesn't think Marcus Mariota is better than David Carr. That guy sucks. That guy sucks.
They're
Yeah,
good friends.
I would agree with that one. David Carr started all the games last year, right?
He got hurt for one game,
Right.
and I
Yeah.
think Marcus started for a full game. So he got hurt in the middle of the game. Marcus took over, and he actually did really, really well in that game. It was amazing. And then the following game, Marcus started, and then the game after that was against the Dolphins, and there was a chance where that was going to be Tua from Hawaii against Marcus Mariota from Hawaii. I know this story because Jeremy was telling us about it and how he was actually visiting his parents at the time in Hawaii, and the buzz around the island, and everyone's a huge football fan over there. It was like the island was going to shut down because Marcus Mariota was going to play Tua in in the NFL, which is just going to be crazy. And then Derek Carr decides to play that stupid game, and so Marcus didn't get to start. But sad day, sad day. I still believe in Marcus. I think he's got a shot. Zach, I noticed we talked about trades. I'm rewinding a little bit. I know you haven't made any, but we're looking at all your horde of draft picks here. You've got all your original picks here. With a couple of the changes that we've made with the settings, we've expanded the bench spots by a couple, and then we've added the taxi slots, which allow you to basically kind of stash a first or a second year player for kind of development purposes a little bit longer term. The league is getting a lot deeper, and it's going to be a lot more necessary to make some of these trades. Do you see yourself kind of swapping around more players or more draft picks, or like what do you think like moving forward? What's your approach going to be? A little bit more aggressive than previously?
Yeah, I mean, again, I haven't done a dynasty league, so I don't really know the value. I think after the draft, and I see the rookies that we draft and how they do, I would better understand the value of future picks. But yeah, right now I'm just going blind. I feel like I'm gonna probably try and draft or do a little bit more trading, especially of future picks, because I think my team is pretty close to being able to contend.
So are you trying to so it sounds like you're giving away some of your draft capital to then gain win now players. Is that what I'm
Yeah,
hearing? Okay.
yeah. That's what I'm definitely down to do that 100%.
And
If
is
you,
there positions you're targeting specific or players? Are you like looking for, other RBs out there or what are you searching for?
I mean, definitely running back is the position I'm looking for the most. So if anyone's got some good running backs they want to shoot my way, got Kelsey and a third pick up for grabs.
Hey, I heard David Johnson, he's
Oh
pretty
man, never. I'm never not gonna.
Little
you want
Keyshawn
some
Vaughn.
Rojo?
Keyshawn
Some
Vaughn.
Ronald Jones?
Oh, you don't want that Tampa Bay running back. You want the other Tampa Bay running back, Keyshawn Vaughn, the legend.
Speaking of, is Keyshawn Vaughn going to be in the picture this year? Because I know I drafted him, dropped him, and you picked him up.
Yeah, you messed up bad. You messed up bad. Keyshawn Vaughn. Um, I mean, I don't. Sky's the limit. I'm thinking two MVPs, three MVPs. I'm a little bit. I'm not sure, but I mean, we can have some conversations. I'm probably handing you three or four championships in a row if I let that guy go. But for my good friend Zach Spence. We can have some conversations, I suppose. So,
All right. Good to know. Good to know.
okay.
Well, I'm curious to who's going to be rebuilding this year because so far we've had 3 teams on. It sounds like 2 believe they're going to win this next coming year. 1, we'll see how the chips fall. So if everyone's going to win now, it sounds like everyone's going to hold on to their assets. Yeah, I'm just curious who the available trade partners are going to be.
Who's selling? Who do you see selling at the not even at the trade deadline, just for the
Right.
season in our dynasty league? Who should be blowing it up and looking to the future? Who's in the dumpster?
Well, definitely Lee's team.
Okay.
Beat me by six. No, I think yeah, Lee's team kind of I don't think is too strong. I'm just trying to pull up their teams right now. Yeah, he doesn't really have a quarterback, does he?
He's got Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers
Rodgers,
and
that's it.
Deshaun Watson. The funny, I
It-
I like to reach out to Lee and talk to him about his quarterback situation because yes, he has Aaron Rodgers, who's old, but then he has Deshaun Watson, who is going through some legal troubles right now, as we may know, could be heading to jail. Hard to say. Then he's got Drew Brees, retired. Then Mitchell Trubisky, he's a backup. So that second quarterback spot is very dicey. Even his first one, just because Rodgers is great, but he's also really old. So I mean, he's definitely someone who should be drafted a quarterback, I would think. But oh darn, he doesn't have his first round pick because he traded it for Cortland Sutton. I don't know if he's going to get one at the second round.
Oh man, I think you're actually right. Looking at his team, he may need to rebuild. I mean, he's got Antonio Gibson, who's young, so he can keep him. David Montgomery, he may or may not want to trade. We'll see. He finished the year strong. He's got Godwin, but besides Godwin, I mean, Jarvis Landry and Brandon Cooks, that's not looking very strong.
He'll be able to throw Cortland Sutton back in there. Cortland Sutton is good. Um, I don't know. I think, and we'll probably be able to say this about any team that we do a deep dive on. I think his capacity to field a competitive starting lineup is pretty solid. I mean, he did make the playoffs because he was the highest scoring non-playoff team at the point. So, but they're all a year older, so we'll have to see. And Rodgers definitely, I would say, vastly overperformed expectations. Will he do as well? You know, what would the
He's not
odds?
he's not going to repeat that.
Is he going to do as well? Yeah, next year as he did this year, and probably not. He won the MVP, and he probably doubled the production that we thought. Maybe not doubled, but you know, way more than we thought. And now he's 38, something like that. 37.
Yeah, he should be being 38 this year.
So, and the Packers always draft dubiously, so we'll see. They'll probably. Man, what if the Packers take another quarterback in the first round? That'd just be hilarious. I'm still waiting for them to ship him off and put Jordan Love in there. I liked every time I hear something negative against Aaron Rodgers, it makes me smile because I'm just like, let's go, Jordan Love, let's go.
You got Love on your bench, right?
Sure do.
Nice.
On my taxi squad, perfect use of the taxi squad on a player like Jordan Love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Lee's team potentially on blast. Anybody else where you think maybe overrated, properly
Uh,
rated, already in the dumpster, known dumpster?
mm, I mean, not really. I mean, you're gonna have a tough year if your wide receivers don't all do well, but
Me. Me.
yeah. Other than that, I don't really see nobody.
All right. All right, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, no, I definitely have a young squad for sure with and I don't know. I'm speaking transparently here. Justin Jefferson was incredible, obviously. Ended up as a rookie, the sixth overall wide receiver, fantastic. I don't know if
No,
he is actually
yeah,
the
he's
sixth best
good.
wide receiver. I'm actually thinking he might. Is he gonna regress? Are other wide receivers gonna perform better? Like, am I set with him as my best wide receiver? Like, I'm not sure. I probably do need to add on there. I'm feeling good with my quarterbacks with Kyler and probably Trevor Lawrence. But you're right. I think wide
Yeah,
receiver
you're,
is my area of opportunity.
yeah. I mean, you got young guys that could beast up, but I feel like that's what's gonna come down to you this year.
We'll see. I got last for a reason, so
Yeah, you might need one more year for your team to develop, Tyler.
I'll tell you who wasn't part of that reason was Keyshawn Vaughn. He will be carrying me into the future. Great.
Keyshawn Vaughn.
Keyshawn Vaughn. Great. All right. Well, any final thoughts at all about the season, about the draft? Any messages you want to send out to your league
No.
mates?
Yeah, I mean, if anyone wants Kelsey or the third pick, send me the offers.
What are 3 players that you would like to acquire on your team?
Without even looking at just 3 players that you love, where you're just like, please God, I need these guys.
Jonathan Taylor,
Ooh.
Cam Akers, and Stephon Diggs.
There you go, Jeremy. 2 of your players right there.
Oh man.
It's a good
Stephon
list.
Diggs and Cam Akers.
That's a good list. All right, gentlemen, and with that, I think we'll wrap it up here. Thanks to each of you for joining us on this Friday night, and we'll look forward to future episodes with future managers. And we're signing off. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.